Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Gesinte Vinter. Hi, it's our father's birthday on Shana Rabbah. Can you wish him a happy birthday at the shir? His name is Jonathan Austin. For Jonathan, we'll do it. He got me into meaningful people. I have a tremendous akar. Happy birthday, Jonathan. Sorry for embarrassing you. What? Today is not Shana Rabbah. Yeah, but emails are always a day. Oh, that's it. That's all we have today. Okay. No, because we have a long daf, and unlike yesterday where we could go an hour and 10 minutes, we have to make it for shachris. Why does it say the koilel is none? That's not accurate. The koilel is sponsored by Mr. Anonymous. I don't know the name. I forgot the name. We'll find out. The Masechta sponsor Eli Stefansky Baruch ben Moshe Aaron and Eli Stefansky Moshe ben Shalom, and for that for my children. The second Masechta sponsor of Rosner zchus my son Yosef Simcha ben Chana Refuah Shlaima. Amen. The rest of the Masechta Ofishel Mitzva Motivators. The Refuah Avraham Mנשה ben Chana ברכה. Mate. Parnas HaChodesh zchariya ben Moshe. Parnas HaShavua. A new thing. I mean, it's not new, but it's very rare. Parnas HaShavua, Vladislav Zakharov in the zchus that I finished my research by February. Mate. And Parnas HaYoyim, Rabbi Fishel Todd for Shidduchim for my daughters and success this zman for my son in Toras Chaim Miami. I once took my son there. I was hoping he would go to that yeshiva. So, we only, what? Chaim ben Yosef Lila Neshama. Your side is today by Noam's mom. She's one of our biggest sponsors, by the way. Seriously, does all the Eli Nishmas. Huh? Rabbi Sai, here's a very special one by Rabbi Rosner himself, who stepped up his donation from $10 to $36. Like it. Did a step up. Yesterday we had Stepner, and today we have Rosner. Avraham Moshe Nussbaum, 36. Yaakov Sorel, 18. Joseph Steyerman, 101. Joel B. Lefkowitz, 18. Yechiel Swissa, 10. Albert Sutton, 52. Jason Jacob, 10. Yitzchak Rabbi, 36. Biyamin Shaw, 101. Rabbi Isa, you're not going to believe this. Israel Itzkowitz, 36. And that's the end of the list. Oh. I don't know the exact number. As I said yesterday, it's right around 600. 600 people were mitzdaref to this unbelievable thing. Hopefully it'll go on for a while. It goes from year to year, unless, of course, you cancel your credit card 6 months in advance. Shkoyach. Rabbi, here we are. We're in the middle of the unbelievable story of Rebbe, the day that he was nifter, the time, the tkufa that he was nifter. We're holding 2 lines from the bottom of Kuf Gimel Amud Beis. Tanya, Rebbe Rebbe was in Tzipori, and he had a place, a caver in Beis Sha'arim. Vatanya, it says in the Tirdo, if it says in the Brisa, one of the Shalom is given in the Brisa, Halech Acha Rebbe leBeis Sha'arim. You should go to Rebbe. Where did Rebbe live? Rebbe lived in Beis Sha'arim. So why do you tell me that Rebbe lived in Tzipori? Rebbe Beis Sha'arim. He really did live in Beis Sha'arim. Like here in the Chalash, but once he became weak and sick, so they brought him to Tzipori. The medallia Uvasim Avira had very good ear. Tzipori is a lashon of a bird that flies high up. So Rashi says, and Mamela, they brought him there, but at the end of the day, he was really from Beis Sha'arim. The question is if he ever made it there. Maybe because it was so close to Shabbos, they didn't bring him. Okay. Says the Gemara Vinter. On that day, that Rebbe was nifter. Similar to what we do today. Tanesim, people cry and they daven that the Gadol Hadar should stay alive. And it's a whole thing. They talk about how we know in the zchus of the tzaddik, brings Shefa down to the world. It's not just that he should live, but that everybody else should live. It's good for us that he's alive. They said, literally, whoever announces that Rebbe was nifter is going to get killed. So Rashi explains over there in Tainas, and the Shittim Kubetz over here says an amazing thing with this Rashi, that they wanted that people should continue davening even if he was nifter, in order that there should be a Tchias HaMesim. And that's what the Ben Yehoyada brought yesterday. He says that's why Rebbe was Zoicha to come home and make Kiddush Friday night, because of the Koyach HaTfilah. But the Shita sticks in a vart here, as the famous idea that so they can continue davening, it should be Tchias HaMesim. Nobody's going to daven, it should be Tchias HaMesim if they know that he's dead. It's a far-fetched thing. If they daven stark, thinking that he's alive, Yidoka b'cherev, don't tell anybody the truth, because once they know the truth, they're not going to daven properly. So you have to have that fear. Tefillah has to come from a very deep place, and sometimes people have to feel that they're in trouble, and they feel that they're in trouble when he's still alive, about to die. Therefore, don't let it be known. Says the Gemara, Salika Amse the Reb Eli Gora. So this famous Shivcha, his maidservant, she went up to the roof, Omra, and she screamed out, El Yoinim Mevakshim Rebbe. Those above want to take Rebbe's neshama, Batachtoinim Mevakshim Rebbe, and the people below want him to stay here. Yirotzoin shechoifu tachtoinim es El Yoinim. Halavai, that the ones down here should beat out the ones above. Ki v'ndechazoi kama zimni de oyel beis hakisei. But then she realized that he has a choyle ma'ayim. He was sick with intestinal disease, and he kept on running to the bathroom. He kept on taking off his tefillin, putting back his tefillin. Tosfos says that's dafka Rebbe, because we passing that somebody has a choyle ma'ayim is also to wear tefillin. But Rebbe was such a kadosh, he knew how to control himself. Become tzar, he had a lot of tzar. Amra yirotzoin shechoifu el yonim satachtoinim. She davened that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should take him away. And over here, this is I quoted this Ran throughout my life at least 100 times. There's a very, very famous Ran in Adorim that not everybody's aware of, and when I tell people the thing, they look at me like I'm crazy. If somebody's so sick that he has no way to turn around, the Lashon of the Ran is, and he brings it from this Gemara right over here. It's in Adorim Daf Mem, top of the Amud over there. Nir be'einai. This is the Ran saying, sometimes it's a mitzvah to daven that a person should die. We have a minute, we go all the way to the end. The guy is zero chance. Every doctor in the world says zero chance. So what do we say? No, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu could make a nays and flip it around. Says the Ran, no, that's not how we look at it. When there's zero chance, al pi derech hateva, so then, and you see this person, tremendous amount of pain, says the Ran, then the mitzvah is to daven that he should die. And it's impossible. What do you mean impossible? He's Mechai Rebbe. It's not going to happen. So now, what the right thing to do is, instead of davening that he should live, then the right thing is he should die. How does the Ran know from this Gemara right over here that the Shivcha, who is a Shivcha? She wasn't a Shivcha, she was a Chashuva person. She obviously had, she served Rebbe. She choifu el yoinim es hatachtoinim. I'm davening, says the Gemara, I'm davening that he should die. She couldn't, the tefillah didn't work. Like David HaMelech, learning and learning, you can't beat that. The Chacham didn't stop davening, so it didn't work. So what did she do? Shakla kuza shadim igara la'aro. She took a pottery, a piece of a pot. She threw it off the roof. It made a loud bang. In that moment that what's the bang? They stopped. Ishtiku. Rachme benoch nafshe the Rebbe. Yeah. It's not active. It's not active because the same exact thing happened by David HaMelech. How did the Malach HaMavis get David HaMelech? He made a big noise outside, and David HaMelech stopped for a second. So, but he didn't kill him. because then there wouldn't be Bechira. David HaMelech could have continued. Chacham could have continued davening, and they didn't. That's what caused the pause. So now Chacham had a good idea that he was nifter. Why? Because there was a pause. Once there was they realized there's a pause. That's how a lot learn. Once there's a pause, zilayin. You have to go check what's going on here. Maybe he died. He goes inside the house and he sees Enochanami is nifter. Like a Talmud does for Rebbe, he ripped kriya. He took the tear and he put it on his back, so when he walks out, nobody would see that it's torn. They shouldn't scare everybody. Pasach va'omar, Erelim umetzukim ochazu ba'oren hakodesh. The Erelim, the Malachim, and the Mitzukim is a lashon of tzadikim. So they say this in Eretz Yisrael Adayim Hazeh by certain Levayas. They'll say, Nitzchu Erelim is hamitzukim. The Malachim above, they beat the tzadikim ochzu ba'oren hakodesh. Nitzchu Erelim is hamitzukim v'nishba Aron hakodesh. And the Aron hakodesh was captured. Rabbi Isai, I have here a video. I just want to show you. I thought it was very cool. It's not so shaykh to the sugya, but why not? There's a day. I just need audio. A day in the life of a guy that announces Levayas in Eretz Yisrael. So I'm not showing you the whole thing, huh? So basically, it's in Hebrew. So what he's saying is that he has two nigunim. He has a simple one that says, so-and-so is Nifter's Levaya is in Petach Tikva. And then he has and he has a whole niggin, he says. It has to be more dramatic. Here he is, the man himself, all the way from Bnei Brak. Here goes.
יש סוגי מנגינות, אדם רגיל שלא איזשהו משהו מיוחד, אז אני אגיד הלווייתו של הרב פלוני אלמוני, זכרונו לברוכה, תצא בשעה 9:30 מביתו רחוב, כך וכך, לבית החיים, סגולה פתח תקווה. לאנשים גדולים, מנהיגים, יש סוג של מנגינה קצת יותר דרמטית. יש גם פתגם פתיחה או פתגם סגירה, אז זה יכול להיות משפט פתיחה כמו ניצחו הרעילים עץ המצוקים ונשבו הרוין הקודש.
Every Israeli kid knows this. ניצחו הרעילים עץ המצוקים ונשבו הרוין הקודש. Oh yeah. He says he's 3 generations doing this. He has the microphone on his car. 3 generations. He doesn't like it because he says he drives through the streets and people go, "What? He's nifter!" And he doesn't like it. He says he has a job that he doesn't like, but that's what they gave him.
Same car
He's not here, Mendy. I say for him. There's a lot of stories about him. He's still alive. He should be. Akash Baruch should give him long, healthy years. He had a big machla, and he came out of the machla, and he said, he used the lashon that it's 1-0. The mitzukim won 1-0. Yeah, you remember this? Another time they say about him. This one I don't know. He said that it was in the streets of Bnei Brak. They were like, he's like, cool. So a little Rosh Hashiva guy. He's like, you see, you read this Hadaris today, the Malachim are fighting with this thing about nothing, about Narishkeiten. It's like some sort of joke Rosh Hashiva. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Zakti Gemara. Omrulei. So they said to him, whoa, what's going on here? Noch nafshe. Did he die? Omr lehu atunka amritu. I didn't say anything, you said it. Vanolaki amino. So this is a sugi we already did once before of Moitzi Dibahu Ksil. It says in the Pasuk in Mishlei that a person who announces and tells people the bad news, he's a Ksil. There's an inyan not to say it. So,
in this case, he didn't want them to kill him.
What?
In this case, he didn't want them to kill him.
Oh, yeah. He for sure didn't. Yeah. That's why he didn't say it. That part is, I think, he didn't. What?
Why did he get up and say it? They said whoever says.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Adarab, he didn't say. So you said it. I didn't say it. You said it. You're allowed to say beremes. Not only that, you're allowed to, in print, most achronim hold that you're allowed to write it. It's more of saying it. It's brought down a lot of different svarim, like the Peliyoids, different things. I saw that in those days, when somebody was nifter, they didn't say it. So what they do is, like, instead of the guy, the vecker would knock on the people's doors, so instead of 3 knocks, they would do 2 knocks. People would spill out the water. There was different, okay, fine. Different ways of announcing. Says the Gemara, B'shas Piros Rebbe. As he's being nifter that day, Zokav Etzer's Bo'esav Klapi Malo, he put his 10 fingers up. Omar Rebbeinu Shalom. Golav Yidual Fanecha Shigati Beser's Bo'esav Torah. You know that I toiled in Torah my entire life. V'lo Nenesi Afilu Be'etzbuk Tana. And I didn't even benefit. And even though Rebbe was very wealthy, he says, I didn't have a no even with my pinky. He says, Taisves, the second Tais is down. Before a person davens that he should know Torah, he should daven that he shouldn't try to enjoy steaks and geschmack at chocolates and pizza. First, make sure that the bad stuff doesn't go in so that you have the vessel to contain the Torah. Don't daven for Torah before. So that's what he's saying. He says, Rebbe saying about himself that he should have peace at these nifter. Yosef Baskal v'amra yavai. Yavai is a singular lashon. Doesn't say yavayu. Yavai shalom yonuchu al mishkavai sam in plural. They should rest on the resting place. Al mishkavcha or al mishkavai mibayle. It should have been in singular. Says the Gemara B'Sayli Reb Chia bar Gamda. A whole new pshat in this pasuk. When a person is nifter and a tzaddik's nifter, so the malachim tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu Shalom, tzaddik pleni ba. Look who's coming. You have a guest. The tzaddikim should get up and go out towards him. Greet him. Period. This is the pshat. You put a period over here. The tzaddikim say you should come in, Shalom Aleichem to Gan Eden, Shalom Aleichem. And then the pasuk continues, Yenuchu al mishkavaisam, these tzaddikim that got out and greeted him, they go back to where they came from. They go back to their houses, to their places. So the plural is talking about the tzaddikim, the singular is talking about the person that was nifter. There's actually a minhag. I think it comes from this. I don't know, I might be wrong. That when you do Achnos Sefer Torah, you take the old the Sfarim out towards the new Sefer. There's such a minute. I think it's based on this Gemara over here. Omar Reb Elazar b'shosha tzaddik nifter min ha'olam shalish kiddush shel malachi hashor says the krosai. When a tzaddik is nifter, 3 different groups of malachim come towards him. Achos emeres loy boy b'shalom. Come in peace. Achos emeres hoylech nichachai. You should go in a straight way, in a straight path. This pasuk that we just said. On the flip side, different types of malachim. These are the bad guys, the bad malachim. There's no peace for the Rishayim. Matzeva is not a matzeva with vav, it's with a vase. Matzeva means to be sad. So you'll find the matzeva yishkav. You'll sit there in sorrow. Lay down together with the arelim, those that have the blocked hearts. Says the Heilige Mishnah, sponsored by Moshe Cohen zchus for limud Torah and continue hatzlacha and parnasa. When the almana goes back to her father's house, so she could collect her ksuba whenever she wants, 70 years after her husband dies, 100 years after her husband dies. There's no limit. However, kozman she bebeis bala, this is the shita of her mayor. But when she's in her husband's house, in other words, she didn't move out, she only has 25 years. Why? Says Rashi, very interesting. When a woman lives in a house, typical thing is she gives from the household. A neighbor comes by, says Rashi, bars bread, gives bread. Bars salt, salt. It adds up. You don't realize how much it adds up. After 25 years, it adds up to her entire ksuba. She lost her ksuba by giving this up. He said this over from Shimon Gamliel. Chacham say the opposite. When she's in her husband's house, there's no limit. Why is there no limit? Because she's embarrassed to collect the ksuba. When she's there with the Yisraelim and they're supporting her, what's she going to start suing them? You don't sue somebody that's hakar satayv, sort of. There's a busha. So since there's an element of busha, we don't see that there's a mechila here. And there's nothing. So therefore, it goes on forever.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Huh? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Something like that. It's not bite because she's really deserving of it. But okay. But yeah, very good. That's a good line for this Gemara. When she's in her father's house, then there's only 25 years. Chacham actually hold that we're not going to charge her for the bread and the salt she gave to the neighbors all these years. That there is a mechila. The question is whether or not she herself is moichel her ksuba. Okay, maybe she has hakar satayv to them. She's moichel ksuba. She said, "Listen, you fed me all these years. I'm moichel." Says Gemara. Sorry, it's still Mishnah, right? Mesa. Once she dies, your share maskirim ksubasa adesim chamishanim. Once she dies, then the yarshim, as long as they talk about it, they say, "Hey, there's a ksuba going on here." So they're good to go. They have 25 years from the time they mention it. So Abai asked the kasha to his Rebbe, "Aniyah should be Yisrael adesim v'chamishanim." You're telling me it takes 25 years for a poor person, for the standard ksuba to be used up with bread and salt? It takes 25 years. For me, it was interesting. Sometimes you do a chesed, like a small chesed, a little bit of bread, a little bit of salt, but it adds up to a tremendous amount of money. This is a year's salary worth. You don't chab, you're giving a little here, a little there. It adds up. But what about Umarta Bas Baisus? She was very, very wealthy. So obviously, her husband didn't just get away with giving her 100 zuz or 200 zuz ksuba. He had to pay up millions of dollars in the ksuba. So what? She spent millions of dollars by giving bread and salt to neighbors? Something like that. How could you say that every single woman in the world, it's within 25 years, use up the ksuba? In other words, some women have very large ksubas. How do you use that up? Based on the size of a camel, that's how much it could carry. Based on the size of how much this woman has in her bank account, that's how much chesed she does. So a poor woman gives her neighbors a piece of bread. A wealthy woman gives her neighbors sushi and steaks. Here, take. So yeah, it all adds up. At the end of the day, after 25 years, their ksubas are going to be depleted. So if you do the cheshbon, you take 25 years and you divide the ksuba of 200 by 25 years, comes out to 8. 8 zuz per year. 8 times 25. 8 times 25, 200. Yeah? So what if this lasted for 2 years? Do we take off 16 zuz? Like, is it by the year? It's a total. If she lasted 25 years, then we give her 0. Why 15? 8 plus 8. Panovich. We don't know. So the Chacham said that if she's in her husband's house, she stays there, then she gets a ksuba forever. Again, another shaila. We had this in Shas a few times. Something doesn't make sense here. If she comes 1 minute before nightfall, she gets a full 200 zuz and more. $10 million ksuba, she gets it 1 minute before. And 1 minute after shkia, loy gavya. And then she gets 0. By purta, achilta, what? She was moichel in that 1 minute. In kol midas chachamim ken he. So over here Rashi says, just a lashon. Where's this Rashi? where am I? Oh. Midas Chachamim Ken, Kol Midas Chachamim Ken, says Rashi, Hemidu Yosef v'lo yitamot. Chacham put a pole into the ground that doesn't move. In other words, we know the answer already. This is how it is. It's not because b'mitzvah she made a mechila. They had to decide a certain time, a certain place, a certain measurement, and that's how it is. For instance, Bar Boim saw toivel. If a mikveh has 40 saw, you could be toivel. Bar Boim saw chaser kartov eini yachal litvo b'hem. If you have 161,000 missing, for instance, for me is a lot. Mordechai Seltzer, maybe Nehemiah helped him out a little bit also. He kept on running back to I filled my mikvah. I have a tiny little mikvah that, anybody could buy it. It's a portable, one of these portable mikvahs that you attach to the ground. So it's kosher midiraisa. The way I filled it up is I put ice in there. Ice is also diraisa. You don't have to grab rain off the thing. So we thought that we put 50 to 100 bags of ice, it should be fine. So he puts in 100 bags of ice, it filled up the mikvah like this. It's crazy. Hundreds of bags of ice. So imagine if, let's say it's 300 bags of ice, and each bag, mind you, costs, 12 shekel, how much was it? Something like that. It's a lot of money. Whatever. Imagine, because somebody from Koilo said, what are you crazy going to spend? He starts filling up his ice trays with ice, and he starts giving me presents every day. And I'm schlepping from here, bag. Let these guys take care of it. We'll pay the 12 shekel, and they'll put it in, everything, schlepping this bag, and then the bag touched it. It froze together with the bag, so I couldn't get the ice out of the bag. So I had to put the whole thing into the mikvah and then peel off the bag. It wasn't worth it. Just go, you do it. Shalom, you saw another expense in the mikvah. But imagine if you have 100,000 cubes of ice and a guy takes 1 cube out, so that passes the mikvah. That's what it is. Kartav, like a mashu of mashu. The answer is yes. That's it. Once Chachamim said that this is the shear, then even a kartav is poisel. One less kartav, it's posel. So this is the halacha of Rav. The Gemara calls this the halacha. We associate this halacha to Rav. Hey, Rabbi Shmuel Reb Yosi. If you remember yesterday, we had this name, Rabbi Shmuel Reb Yosi. He asked Rebbe, what about my father, Reb Yosi? Is he as chashav as Reb Chia? And he said, Chas v'shalom. And hey, Rabbi Shmuel Reb Yosi lefnei Rebbe. Shama mishum aviv. He said in the name of Reb Yosi, this whole thing that you can collect the ksuba until 25 years is only when she doesn't have the ksuba. If she has the ksuba, go ksuba salayla. So Rashi sticks in a svara here because she would have given. Why is she holding on to the ksuba? If she's meichel, she would have given it back to the Yisraelim. Here, I'm meichel you. Here's an official act of mechila. I'm giving it back to you. I can't collect anymore. I don't have it. If she's holding on to it, that means there's no mechila. She wants to collect it. So again, Rav says that if you have ksuba, if she has ksuba, she could collect forever. It doesn't matter. Even if she has ksuba, the limit is 25 years. So a person who's owed money, he doesn't have to make a macha. He doesn't have to say, hey, by the way, you owe me money. Baal Chayv always comes back and collects money no matter what, 50 years later. Hey Chidami, what's the case? If he doesn't have a document, so who's going to believe him? So you're telling me that he has a shtar, and the flip side would be a woman who has a ksuba. You can't, he's not moichel alone. Why should I be moichel alone? So the $100,000, why should I be moichel? Even though the almana has the ksuba, she's moichel. So Rashi says two svaras here. Why would she be moichel? First of all, she had a lot of benefit over here from them, so she's moichel. Second of all, it didn't come out of her pocket. She didn't lend somebody money. Somebody got married to her and said, if I die, I'll give you 200 zuz. Okay, so she's moichel that. It's easier for her to be moichel. A guy that takes out of his bank account, gives you money, mechtes, he should be moichel you. Says Gemara, so the question is, you see, not like a Rav. You see, that even though she has a shtar, we have to say that's talking about a case where there's a shtar, and if there's a shtar, she has a ksuba, even though there's a shtar, you can't collect after 25 years. He asked the question, he answered the question. No, we're talking about a case where there's no ksuba, there's no shtar for the balchayv either. If the guy admits, yeah, I borrowed money, but you know what? There's statute of limitations. What is it called? Yeah? What are you coming to me 50 years later? I borrowed from you in the 70s. You're coming to me now? Inflation, this, that. I don't have money now. No. I'm retired now. What are you coming to me now? No. You're chayiv. And the woman also, they're moided to her that the late father, he gave her a ksuba. But that's it. After 25 years, it's over. Says the Gemara, we learned in the Brisa, they learned the Talmidim, Grusha Harei Kibal Chayv, that a divorced woman is like a Bal Chayv. In other words, there's no limit. Even after 25 years, you're Chayv. If she doesn't have a ksuva, how is she going to collect? So there is a ksuva. And we can do the same kind of deal. Only divorcee who's not moichel her ex-husband, which makes a lot of sense. This almana who has a ksuba is moichel. So you see that even if she has a ksuba, she cannot collect after 25 years. No, we're talking about a divorcee who her ex admits that he owes her money. And so to the almana. Same tears as we said before. He said in the Brisa, Tavak Subasa, Daf Daled, Amud Beis. Sponsored as zchus, can you be able to support Torah and finish shots with Reb Eli. If once she steps in and says, hey, I demand my ksuba, harei ki batchila, the clock starts all over again. It's reset. You start another 25 years. Every time she mentions it, she comes and demands, okay, now she's not, so she showed she's not moichel. Now you have another 25 years. And if she has the shtar ksuba, goyvik subasa la'olam, then she could be goyva, and this is like the shita of Rav. That's only because she doesn't have the shtar ksuba. If she has the shtar ksuba, there's no limit. It doesn't stop at 25 years. That's shita's Rav. Teach us. This machlokes that we have in the Mishnah. And only one part of it. The one of the woman was in her father's house. She only has 25 years. Is machlokes when she has the ksuba or gishein shtar ksuba yotzim mitachas yoda. V'alach k'divrei mi, and who do we pass him? Chachamim, Reb Meir. Shalachlei b'shein shtar ksuba yotzim mitachas yoda machlokes. The machlokes is when she doesn't have a shtar ksuba. Shtar ksuba yotzim mitachas yoda. Goy ksuba sala'olam, like Rav. V'halacha k'divrei chachamim, that she has 25 years, and if it's in her father's house, if she's in her father's house, she has forever. He also Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came to Bavel, what?
In her husband's house, she has forever.
No. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Kol zman she bebeis bala goyva ksubasa la'olam. Kol zman she bebeis avia goyva ksubasa ad esrim v'chamesh shanim. That's the halacha. Okay, I don't know what I said. Just read it. Good. Beis bala 25 years. Beis, yeah. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Kol zman she bebeis bala goyva ksubasa la'olam. La'olam. Thank you. Zog the Gemara. Ki also Rav Dimi, Omer Rav Shimon Pazi, Omer Rav Shimon Levi, Mishum Bar Kapar, Leshanu Elamona Mosayim. This whole idea of 25 years, up to 25 years, is on the standard, basic part of the ksuba, the Mona Mosayim. Avol Teisefes, but anything extra that he added into the ksuba, Yeshla. Why? Because everything extra is considered a gift, and she's not moichel the gift. And so she has more than 25 years. No. Why? You don't get the gift. Anything in the ksuba, it doesn't matter what it is, the mezainas, whatever, all the extras, the gifts, It's all part of the ksuba. And when I say she has 25 years for the ksuba, it means everything. Itmar nami, Omer Rabba, Omer Ravuno, Omer Rabba, Lishon Elam, Omer Masai. Avot Yosefes, Yeshla, same exact thing. Omer Lele, Reb Abi Ravuno. Omer Rav Hachi. Did Rav say this? And this is a very interesting lashon he answered. Omer Le, Ashtikon Kamras, or Ashkem Kamras. When you ask me, did Rav say this? Were you being facetious? Were you trying to shut me up and say, don't talk like that? Or are you trying to say, wow, I didn't know Rav said it, and because I didn't know Rav says it, I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you a bottle of soda. I'm going to give you a cup of wine. What are you trying to do? Are you being sarcastic or not? Omar lei ishtikin kamina. Yeah, I was being sarcastic. I was saying shut up. I mean quiet. Shut up. Saying quiet. Don't say Rav says such things. It's not true. Says the Gemara, the mother-in-law of Reb Chia, the tall one, intas achu have. She married his brother. So I did a chart here real quickly. There's two brothers on the right and the left. Baldwin brothers. One is Shimon, one is Daniel. Now Rachel has a daughter from another marriage. That's the Berka lady. And Rachel marries one brother, Daniel. In our story, Reb Chia Aricha is like Shimon, like the guy in blue. He married the daughter. So in other words, Rachel in the center is his mother-in-law. Rachel in the center is also his sister-in-law. Rachel in the center married his brother, but she's a sister-in-law, and she's a daughter and a mother-in-law. She's really a mother-in-law here. And now what happened was he's nifter. So that's this case. This case is different. This is real people. Chamase de Rav Chia Aricha, the mother-in-law of Rav Chia, intas achuyavi. She was married to Rav Chia Aricha's brother. And that brother died. So Reb Chia Aricha v'zona eser mechamesh shnin b'beinasha, he went to her house and delivered food every single day. L'soif amra le havli mezayni. So 25 years comes. All of a sudden, she's not getting knocks on the door anymore. There's no food. What's going on here? I'm starving. Omar law. I'm sorry, my mother-in-law. I was waiting for this day for 25 years. Less lach mezayni. I'm not giving you any more food. Go find yourself a job. You're 90 years old. Go find yourself a job. So she says, okay, very, very funny. Have a ksuba. Have a ksuba. I just never collected it because you're supporting me. And if you support me, if I take my ksuba, I don't get support. Okay, now I'm a ksuba. Just like we learned now, that the Tosefes ksuba is the ksuba. So you don't get anything. It's all one thing. I'm not going to give you a ksuba. I'm not going to give you the mezainis. I'm not going to give you mezainis. I'm not going to give you ksuba. So just like a good mother-in-law does to a son-in-law. So she goes, takes him to the Vinter. We had a number of times in this Masechta. If you tell me exactly what happened, all of a sudden things change. Some guy in Shul went to a Rav. I'm not joking. Went to a Rav. This week it happened to me. I told him a certain halacha. He says, not true. You're a apikoros, call me all these names. He says, I'm going to a Rav. He goes to the Rav, asks him, Stam a Shaila, like a general question. The Rav says exactly like me. So I went back to the Rav and I said, this is the story. It happened like, he says, no, if it's like you said, no, it's 100% you're right and he's wrong. You have to know how, you could ask the same question different ways. Easy, listen to this. He picked out one very interesting nakuda here out of the story that maybe wasn't so obvious. Easy, and like we said many times, sometimes easy means my beloved. Tell me over the story. This time, just remind you, we're not going to say the story, but Moshe Feinstein, when he asked that woman, she was an aguna, and said that this and this Rav gave me the heter, and Moshe said, tell me the story. And he says, tell me the story again. And then he yelled at her, kids, that story. Okay, tell me the story. I want to hear the words. So he says, I fed her for 25 years. But here's the kicker. B'chayai demar, I swear on you, B'katfoi amtiloi. I brought it myself. I didn't send the package of food to her every day. I brought it to her by myself. You brought it yourself. You just messed yourself up. Why? What's the difference between in your husband's house or in your father's house? She's embarrassed. She lives with them. They support her. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. You come to deliver the package every day. She's not going to bite your hand. And therefore, there's no mechila. Zilhavla. She was mevuyish from you. Now you're mechuyev to give her mezainis. End the story. However, it's not the end of the story to some degree. Lo yashkach. For whatever reason, Reb Chia decided he knows better. He's not listening to the psak. Kosavlo adrachta anichse. So he wrote her a shtar saying, Rav Shela, I paskin so and so. You could take it from the field. That's it. It's yours. Also, the kamei the Rava. So Reb Chia goes to Rava. He decided to find himself another Rav that will paskin like him. Look what they did to me. The wrong psak. You see that he didn't like the psak. He held it was wrong halacha. So Rava tells him, Shapir danach. It was a great psak. Okay, fine. So Rava corroborated that he has to pay her because of this interesting twist. That it's not, you don't take the Mishnah literally, Beis Bala, Beis Avia. You have to use the svara behind Beis Bala, Beis Avia. If the same svara applies to where she is, and that she's bebei nasha, but the same svara applies because he delivered it, hand delivered it, so mele is a busha, so therefore there's no mechila, and therefore he still allows her, there's no mechila on the ksu. Okay, this woman, I've never seen anything like this. This is a Talmidei Chachama on the highest degree. Then he owes me money from the day that it was written, the adrachta, when I got the psak from the bezdin, that I could, until I got to you, Rav, and this and that, took months. He owes me from that moment, a few months ago, when they passed him that he owes me money. Let me see the document. Chazia, so Rav saw that they have a kosav by vishtamoidano, the nechosam elo the misna. It didn't say inside the adrachta that the nechosim, it says in the adrachta she could come take this field, but it didn't say that this field was owned by her late husband. Maybe this field is owned by Reb Chia Aricha. So the wording is a little not so good. I can't base your mezainas based on the date that they wrote this document, because this document is not a good document. Forget the document. Rashi brings here, there's a three-way machlokes, and Rav is one of the people in the machlokes, which is very interesting. This is sugis that we learn in Shnai Moichzim, in Mafkid, this whole thing. I don't know if anybody remember. I didn't understand what was flying back then. Imagine, 8 years old, learning about a drachtis and achrozis, I don't know what. Fine. Upon him, here's kids. Atalo mentioned Shnai Moichzim? Lamata et zeh? Eize? Eli Metzias, Yafeh. Okay, so I'm saying that's the age that you learn it. I don't know if you learn it again in yeshiva. Akopanim, there's a three-way machlokes. At what point when Bezdin, Abaye says, is at the point that the Bezdin signed off on it, that's the point that he has to start paying payers. Rava is on all the way at the end. There's another sheet in the middle. He says, no, after you locate a field and you do a public auction on the field for 30 days, after the 30 days, that's when you start collecting the payers. So she tells Rava, I'll go with your shita. Listen to this. She knows Shnai Moichzim and Balpeh. I'm going to go with your shita. You don't like this? Fine. Don't go with that drachta. But I located a field, and there was a achraza for 30 days. There's a public auction. Give me from the moment that the public auction was over. Nobody outbid me on that field. I want payers from then. You're right. You're very big Talmidei Chachama, and that's good if there's no mistake in the adrachta. Listen, you did a public auction with no basis. The whole document that you got from Bezdin was a bad document, thrown in the garbage. Unbelievable. Mamish, wow. In other words, if a document doesn't say in it that there's a guarantee that you could go and collect from the Chazim Shubadim, so I'm going to assume that the Sofer made a little boo-boo. But it's a good document that has a guarantee. The guarantee is in the document. He just forgot to put it in. Why? Over here, I can tell you for a fact, it wasn't a mistake from the scribe, the guy that wrote it. The Dayan, the whole Bezdin made a mistake here. And over there, you don't say Toras Sofer. Who saw her? The Reb Shila said, listen, there's a bunch I see. It's 8:05. We're going to finish. We just want to get to the end of the parak. That's why I'm doing this. And we started 7 minutes late. So we're really not, in terms of time, we're okay. Mendy, come. I saved you your seat. I kicked the kid out. I'm not joking. Here's your seat. There's the whole shir, the poor kid sitting over there. I told him, no, Mendy's coming. There's a... Okay, thank you. So, Nachamol. Where are we? Oh, yeah. So what happened is that Reb Shela said, this guy, this person, Reb Chia Aricha, he has different fields. One he inherited from his brother. One he has his own. Who cares which one she collects from? He take from this field. They're identical fields. Misvara, says Reb Shela, what's the difference where she collects from? He doesn't care. He says, Rava, Misvara, I can tell you that there's a big difference. What's the difference? V'loi, he made a mistake. And since he made a mistake, then the whole star that he wrote her is not good. What's the mistake? So Rashi says they're going to pull a trick on her. Huh? Yeah, hold on, I'm not done yet. Rashi says there's a trick. He tells her, take my field. Go take my field. So she goes and she plows it and she manures it, the whole thing. And then and then he says, no. I want my field. My field is the good field. Your field that you deserve is already 2 years sitting there without any manure, without the what is it called? The fertilizer, thank you. And Mamela, it gets ruined. And then they're going to say that Bezdin is guilty over here. Bezdin didn't take care of this woman, so it's going to be a Laz in Bezdin. So Mamela, it is an Afkamina what field he takes, so the whole Hadrach is no good. You can't collect on it. Hadran halacha noisei, Hadran halacha noisei. Have a wonderful day and a gesinte Vinter.